in the last video, I was talking about wanting to make a mini-series because I feel like I just wasn't very good at Halo Infinite, and just maybe throw some time at it, throw some hours while waiting for 2042 to become playable at some point in the next 500 years, and just kind of break down my steps to improvement. And this is gonna be the first entry to that. When I say mini-series, I don't really know how long or have an intention as to how long I would like it to be, but I'll probably make it like a handful of episodes, and don't expect anything super committed, but I just wanted to kind of test my mettle, if you will, in the environment of scripted videos, or at least lightly scripted videos, and just kind of try something and have fun with it, right? Either way, I hope you guys enjoy this one, and that's all I have to say for the synopsis here. To start off, I'm going to introduce a preliminary concept of fundamentals known as, well, it's what I call the three staples. Some people call it like a triangle or whatever. And it's three very simple concepts that make up pretty much all of Halo gameplay, which is your shooting, your grenade usage, and your positioning. And now a lot of people will, agree or disagree or whatever they want to do with this, but this is what I find to be objectively the core fundamentals is what I would suggest. I find it really important that I need to mention that just because you have these fundamentals on lock, it doesn't mean it's necessarily going to equate to you being an MLG Pro MLG 420 gamer. And it's really important to understand that every match and every scenario in every match is very unique, in that it's going to take a lot of good decision making, and there's a lot of micro decisions and stuff like that you need to do in Halo. So I just wanted to, I don't want to digress, but I wanted to just bring that up and mention like, hey, it's going to take a lot of practice for you to kind of get every permutation of every situation down. Obviously, nothing is down to a science, and sometimes there are just unwinnable situations because you made, a couple different micro decisions poorly. But those are the three that I tend to follow, and I know that most players tend to follow. Those three, like, tenets or staples, whatever you would like to call them. Fortunately for me, I've played a lot of PC games and just a lot of FPS games in general throughout my life, so I have a lot of these skills developed already. However, it's really important to note that just because I have these skills, even if I was like an Apex Legends professional player, that doesn't mean I'd necessarily equate to being good at Halo Infinite. And especially since Halo Infinite's a very, very team-oriented game. This game, I feel it is more important for you to be a good teammate than it is to be a good individual player, right? Because again, I make that example of, I would rather go 5-10 with 25 assists than go 10-5 with 2 assists. Because I did way more with those 25 assists, probably, than I did with those 10 frags, right? And that's just something to kind of keep in mind here. So now that I've kind of covered some of these ground topics, I can really dive into my personal experience, and then obviously this is so that maybe you as a viewer could take some inspiration or take some pointers, whatever you want to do, on how I can improve my gameplay. And so the first thing that I want to cover back on is being a good teammate. You can be a great individual player, but you have to be a good teammate to be a good individual player in Halo. That's just how it is. So, in order to be a good teammate, the way I'm thinking of is I'm just trying to support my fellow teammates in whatever way I can. If I see people on one side of the map kind of pushing up, I'm going to try to, get the cutoff or get the choke point. And by that, I mean, like if you look in this clip right here, you can see I knew where my teammates were. We had two guys in mid, me on the side base, and then another guy who was kind of out in their court, which is just the front of their base. And I was holding it so that everyone knew where they could shoot from. And as you look in this clip that's playing out, you can see I'm just trying to put in damage and get away. Like just shoot players and then run away, and then shoot players and run away, and shoot players and run away. And I struggled a lot with shooting in this game for a little bit. And this is what I kind of started doing in order to turn shoot and run away into get a frag and run away, get a frag and run away. And then eventually that could turn into get a double and run away, get a double run away, and control this side of the map and stay on it. And just developing my abilities here. Another thing that tends to plague me and a lot of more novice players is greeting for the frag. It is not worth greeting over the frag. And I learned this pretty quickly in Infinite, especially playing ranked solo, because sometimes it does turn into a little bit of a 1v4. And I might be able to get these 1v1 wins, but my teammates may not necessarily be able to. So what I've kind of, and it's ironic coming from me, someone who normally plays a Slayer role in Infinite, is I've started playing more support roles, which is like I'm just trying to help my teammates get frags, because I don't see the benefit personally, and I can get a lot of kills, but what if my teammates can, right? So that's just like it's a net loss, especially if I can just simply shoot with my teammates and we can all benefit. On top of that, I also like to really spam callouts or like spam pings. In this match, I don't think I do a necessarily good job, but I try to ping every single enemy that I see, every single time. Because I don't really talk in the voice chat, because a lot of the time I'm streaming, and I honestly, my effort in the solo queue playlist isn't necessarily to the point where I want to scream callouts to my teammates, especially since callouts aren't really super, they're not super mandated yet, or structured, I guess, because you see a lot of the pro players making their own callouts, but then you also see people in matchmaking making the map callouts. What I mean by this is people will be like, oh, their core, whereas on the map, it could be like their front door or their aquarium or something of that nature. To complement this previous mention, what I started to do and what I noticed I was doing was I was aiming at the head a little too much. Whereas in Halo, you don't really need to do that until you pop the shields. So what I was doing is I was playing it like Counter-Strike and I was shooting at people's heads when in Halo you just need to pop the shields and then you can get the headshot. I know I'm repeating myself here, but I'm gonna elaborate on this now. So if you see in this clip here, I'm shooting at the body. And if you aim at the head, they're more prone to missing bullets in the burst, which is obviously gonna, raise your time to kill. And that's not what you want, especially in a game where everyone can get a time to kill very easily. Also known as a perfect, right? So I had this bad habit of shooting people in the head, and I started aiming at the body. I made a very aggressive mental note, and every time I started shooting Halo, I said, shoot in the body, shoot in the body. And I started shooting in the body, and I noticed that I started winning a lot more gunfights, as you can see in that situation. Even when I had to tank a grenade, I was still able to put burst into the body, take my time with it, and then clean it up real clean. So that might be something a lot of people are doing subconsciously, especially if you play other FPS where there is a headshot incentive, right? Which is most other FPS games. So just to tie this all together, I don't want to make this video too long. I actually reworked the entire past 5-6 minutes of this video, believe it or not, because I feel like it just needed more time in the oven, which is why it didn't come out the day before today. Nonetheless. Just to give a quick rundown, focus on being a better teammate, focus on actually shooting in Halo properly, which is popping the shields, right? Valuing damage over the kill, and valuing my positioning in correlation with my team in order to be a better teammate. Those are the 4 things that I've been working on a lot, and I'm moving forward towards a little bit more complicated stuff when I start playing with my friends, like working on setups, reading spawns, things of that nature that are going to be a lot more important since I'm in the Onyx rank, and I'm probably going to start playing better players, not diamond level players who clearly have never played a Halo game before. So I hope this was a nice, interesting video. I've said so like 9 times again, sorry. And this is just, again, my adventure, I guess, my journey in Halo Infinite. I just literally got laid out there. The next video I make is probably going to be one that a lot of people have asked. A lot of people ask me, like, oh, what sensitivity? Like, how do you shoot in this game? I feel like I'm struggling. So I think that'll be the next video to look forward to. And then the next video in the mini-series will definitely be more about, like, working with the team and, playing a specific role. Things that are a lot more specific and can kind of pertain more to a global sense. Hope this was fun to watch, and I will see you dudes later. Peace out, anime girl scout, boy circle triangle scouts.